Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, Daddy Devereaux. You're more Daddy and the DNA poster. Jack, how could you? My mother was involved.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm David, your host for Take2 Radio Soaps and Review. And with me tonight, I have Anthony.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. And I am multitasking. I am finishing my dinner as we start the show.
That is fine. And we have Candice.
Hey, everybody. Hope all is well.
The 3 of us are manning the fort tonight because Pam, Will, and Carolyn have other things to do. And we're going to actually tackle all 4 soaps, I think. Do we have enough for 4 soaps? Yeah, I think.
If not, we can still discuss. We can still discuss.
Yep.
Absolutely. We can definitely discuss friend to the show, Kevin Spiritus and After Forever, Riley's awesome school project, fantastic school project, one of those. Please go on Amazon.com, Amazon Prime, and check that out. They just won another set of awards, GLAAD Media Awards, and, oh, man, I remembered up until the point where the show started, but they just won another set of awards for Season 2 and Riley's awesome school project. So please check that out, and you may or may not hear Kevin on Take Two Radio soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Candice, anything new on Forever and a Day that you'd like to bring up?
You know what? Yes. So, real quick, I wanted to on behalf of me, Casey, James Bly Jr., and the cast and everybody else, we want to thank everybody who has listened to the show. We hit a milestone as of yesterday with exactly 5,000 downloads. So that means you guys are listening to Forever and a Day.
Nice.
And right? I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. We just started season. Right? I was thinking of you the whole time when I found out. I was like, okay, I need to tell Anthony this too. But last Monday we started season 2, and we had some casting news. We now have Tony Head, who is, Sonda Anacostia, a great actor. He is now part of the show as Isaac. But we had some major casting news. Not saying that none of our other casting news is major, but I think this one took people by surprise, that we are honored. And I'm hyping this up because it deserves to be. We are honored. We are privileged. We are blessed to give fans of Generation. You remember that show, Generations?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that show?
NBC. Sure do. NBC, go ahead.
There was one actress that a lot of people was like, she needs to be on another soap. She needs to be on another soap. And she's on Forever and a Day starting this Friday. The amazing Janelle Allen is on Forever and a Day. And, yeah, I'm trying really hard not to cry because that is shocking. Look, I know I'm like a co-executive producer, co-head writer and stuff, but even that shocked me.
Okay.
That's beyond.
You know what, girl? I have not done this on air, but I'm going to do it now. I am your co-host. I am the other side of your brain, and I love you. You need to get me a walk-on, a 2 or 3 arc walk-on. You need to. I need to play with you people because I'm loving what you guys are doing. Absolutely loving what you're doing. Please get me a walk-on, girl. Please.
You know what? I will talk. You know what? I will talk to the casting director. I think I know her too well as well. Oh. I'll talk to the people. I'll talk to them. But yeah, look, we're not done. Oh no, we're not done. That's just the tip of the. Well, I can't tell y'all nothing. Oh my God, I want to say so much stuff, but I can't because
I know it's bursting. It's bursting, and you really want to.
Look, I kept that secret. First,
you're gonna get in trouble.
I kept that secret about Janelle for the longest time. Like I did good, so I can keep secrets. I was just like, okay, can I tell everybody? Can I tell anybody? And I was like, there was something I wanted to tell you guys. I was like, oh, I can't say anything. And then I was like, gosh, like so yes, tomorrow's episode. So
excuse me.
But you guys can catch us on JLJ Media Forever and a Day Season 1, including the Christmas episode. Because yes, if you know me, I like holiday episodes. So yes, we do have a Christmas episode. Then Season 2 is now available on JLJ Media and all streaming services around the world, around the globe. And it's a dream come true. I mean,
it is.
Just a small town girl.
I've got a tiny bit of casting news of my own. There was a rumor flying around a couple of weeks ago, and people thought, oh, it's just one of those things. They're trying to get buy-in from the One Life to Live folks, et cetera, et cetera. But it turns out that some rumors actually are based in fact. And the fabulous, the incomparable, the incredible Ms. Cassie DePaiva will be joining the cast of the primetime reboot of All My Children called, quote-unquote, Pine Valley for 13 episodes. In a new role, she is not bringing Blair Kramer to Pine Valley. She is creating a new role, but it's Cassie DePaiva. I don't care. She can play the maid. She can play the matriarch. She can play the person who picks up the garbage, and she's going to bring it. I don't care who she plays. Just be there and bring it. Exactly.
Oh, excellent. That's excellent news for both of you. So, shall we get started?
There is.
You got more?
Well, there. Oh, yes. Oh, you know I had more. You know about this one because I think everybody tagged me, tweeted me, Facebook messaged me yesterday about this. It seems General Hospital probably has heard me so many times that they decided to go ahead and do this. We had this person on our show last year, and I believe the question from one of us, I think it was probably me, is saying, would you ever come back to GH? I am so happy to say this. I didn't think I would say it. That's the crazy part. If you've been living under a rock, General Hospital surprised a lot of fans by announcing that Emmy Award winner Chad Brandon is coming back to GH. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What? We don't know who he's playing. There's some rumors as to which characters he may play. But he starts tomorrow filming, so I'm excited about this. I literally saw the message because I had like all the things on my phone, and I saw entertainmentweekly.com, which did kind of mess up the article, but the statement was clear that Chad Brandon was coming back, and I was like, I screamed like Ed McMahon came back from the dead to give me a $10 million check.
Girl, I know you were happy beyond belief.
It was funny because every post, like, people was like, on, Twitter, because my Twitter account is at Candy Poo. They was like, oh, we can hear Candice screaming all the way from Baltimore. We can hear Candice, like, jumping up and down. Like, who did Candice pay at GH for this?
No, what?
So I'm just like, okay, let's go. Let's go.
I'm just
saying, you know.
I'm going to be the one to say it. They creep. They're listening. They pay attention to what we're doing. Not only us, there are a couple of other reputable, because there's plenty of shows out there that want to give you false information, that want to give you the misleading, you know, I don't know if it's Trumpism or I'm not going to get all kinds of political stuff, but, you know, but there's plenty of shows and websites and blog spots that are out there that are giving you, they just want the clicks. They just want they want the attention, they want the likes, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But we have prided ourselves for as long as I have known the show, and I've known the show before I actually was involved with being a part of the show, we have prided ourselves in bringing you true, accurate, completely verifiable information. If we talk about it on this show, that's because we've gotten the nod from someone, whether it be on the show, a publicist, a manager, something. We don't deal in rumors here. We deal in fact and truth. We're not fake news. We're the real news. And so thank you, producers, writers, et cetera, of General Hospital, for listening to us and for taking into account that person who we love, whether he comes back as our beloved Xander or not, whoever he comes back as. And quite honestly, I hope it's a Claudia Zacchara situation where he comes back with a different name with a face that we love, and we get to fall in love with him all over again.
Well, if anybody remembers, back in 2009 when Natalia Livingston was leaving as Emily's lookalike Rebecca Shaw, we ain't gonna talk about that. They did a tongue in cheek. They did a tongue in cheek of her son of Stop It. And the guy next to her was named Aaron, who was played by Chad. So some of the speculations is he going to come back as that character with an agenda, or is he somehow, this is soap. Nobody's really dead on a soap. But we'll get to that in a minute. Could he come back as Xander? Or, there's so many ways of taking it if he does play Xander. But GH, you're really trying to save our relationship, and I'm proud of you for trying to fight for our relationship, because this was something I didn't expect. I've been preaching about it for like 7 years, and you heard me. But yeah,
your marriage counselor gave you both some homework, both General Hospital producers, writers, et cetera, and they gave you some homework as far as taking deep breaths and feeling things out and letting them play out. So y'all both have done your homework, and this is what happened.
Yes. I just was like, I was really happy. I mean, we'll talk about it later about GH, but I just, it's stuff like this. With casting news, I mean, not all casting news was great and some, stuff like that. But this is why we always say the soap genre is like the best, because they still know how to surprise you. Even when it's like, man, they ain't going to do it. That's never going to happen. I mean, how many people thought that we weren't going to get another opportunity to see our friends in Pine Valley? I mean, we kind of thought, we was like, okay, ABC, you have the rights. What are you going to do? Who was to say, Don Diamont? Oh, Lord, him. Yeah.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. We're going to go there in a few minutes. Yes.
Yeah, we are.
We can start there in a few minutes.
Just saying. And then, Days of Our Lives. We'll talk about all that. And we know that the impeachment trial, has preempted some shows, except for Days of Our Lives, which you can see on NBC.com, Peacock, and all that. We will talk about some of the stuff because, so spoiler alerts, because I need to ask a question regarding Days, and I want your opinions about it, because this is going to be a big discussion.
You want to start with Days?
It's going to be how many persons can possibly play Vivian? But I'm sorry, I digress.
No. Wow. I just want to say I'm team. I love all versions of it. There.
I love all versions, but who's next? Erica Slazak as Vivian, or who played Rachel
Hey
Corey?
now. Let's think about that for a second. Okay, we thought about it. There you go, folks. Oh no.
There.
No, I mean we can talk about Bold first because I got some issues with that as well.
Have I missed something, or didn't they show Don yet? On what?
Let's see, Monday.
Did they impeach?
What's he on Monday?
I can't remember.
Dang, it's been
Monday.
long. Dang.
Monday was the last time, right? So.
Yeah, Monday we didn't see him. No. They've been so no, we haven't seen him on The Young and the Restless. We've seen CBS was because we didn't know. Obviously they didn't know as well because they've been playing it by ear. They gave leaked out. Well, they didn't leak out footage. They showed exclusive video of when Don Diamond comes on to The Young and the Restless, like his first scene.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you have not checked that out, I'm pretty sure you go on Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. Go to CBS.com. When I tell you that it's so funny to me, that scene, because the scene itself is obviously, you guys know that, to give you guys the recap of Bold and Beautiful real quick, Cal Summer from Young and Restless came over to Bold and Beautiful to talk to Wyatt because originally they were talking about the merge between, the Jabot collection and all that, all the business stuff. And Summer had said, oh, by the way, Sally said hi. And that perked Wyatt's ears up, and Summer wanted to get some information from Wyatt and Flo about Sally and, everything. Well, then you had, Summer and Kyle go bye-bye. See ya. Adios. And now, on Bold and Beautiful, we have a little situation. Who did they...
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were back. I saw you drop, so I put you back on.
Thank you. So sorry about that. Go ahead, Candice.
That's okay.
Yeah, who did Daddy?
So, we got contestant number one. He is currently a baby daddy to two kids. From Steffi and Hope's bedroom, it's Liam Spencer. Dun, 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 dun. We also have contestant number two. He's newly been invited back to Steffi's bedroom. We have Dr. Finn. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. I know, I felt like a really good game show. Okay. So the situation is that Liam had told Hope about it, and Hope is based off of this paternity test is what's going to determine the future of their relationship. We have Finn, who is told Steffi no matter what, I'm just going to be with you, no matter what. And Steffi's I don't know why I keep doing this. Yeah, she's I don't understand why I always do this, always do that, this whole thing. And then she doesn't understand, how a guy like him could still be with her, after all that stuff. This is where, and I know people are sick and tired of this storyline, because, but this is the first time that I feel as though that Steffi is getting an eye-opener of what real love is instead of what she's been through for the last couple of years. But at the same time, Liam is trash because all this stimulated from we said this on the show. You saw what you thought you saw, but you didn't confront it. You saw a man kissing your wife, and instead of barging in and saying, hey, get away from my wife, you went ahead and got drunk to go to the other girl who doesn't know, and here's the thing, because I know a lot of people was cracking up about the drug addiction thing that Steffi went through.
Real quick, had you said, hey, you'd have found out it was a dummy. It was a blow-up.
Right.
It was a mannequin.
Right. To me, that's my problem. It's you went ahead and assumed, just like on Days of Our Lives with Chad, you assumed that your wives were cheating on you or something. And instead of confronting the scene as it's happening, you let it manifest into your brain, into your thought, into your soul, and you went ahead and you did something that you knew was going to bite you in the butt. And the thing is that, you know, a lot of people I know did not like the Stephanie drug addiction storyline because it happened too fast. But I've always said the drugs wasn't her addiction. Her addiction is Liam. The drugs was a cop out. It was a way for her to express herself. But her real addiction is Liam. And it kind of shows in the storyline that Steffi cannot get herself away from Liam, because if that was the case, like some people said, she would have shut the door, shut her legs, and told him to go. Like, why did you taking shots of tequila? You're recovering from a drug addiction here, and you're allowing Liam to come into your house and mess up what you just started with somebody new. You have a new, fresh start, and you decide to ruin it. So fast forward here. This week we were supposed to find out who the daddy is, but obviously we're probably going to have to wait a couple of days.
Georgia impeachment.
So right now, you know, like I said, you know, Liam is like kind of trying to make it where he's really sorry about what he did, and he's like, well, Hope, you know, you and Thomas, because he was trying to spin it. Thomas, on the other hand, he's kind of just being there for Hope. Smart. Very smart. He's not trying to manipulate any of this. But he was talking to Vinny. Yeah, he was talking to Vinny.
Okay. So I'm going to jump in right there, because there's two things that you kind of you skated on that I really think need a highlight. For the first time ever, Steffi is actually taking a look at both sides and saying to us, you know, and saying internally, I played this part. I'm the one who stuck myself on Liam. Here's this guy Finn, you know, et cetera, along the way. She's actually owning up to her own piece of the drama that's been all these years, which is something that we've never seen from Steffi before. And I gotta give kudos to the aftermath of. Now, I was one of those people. I thought the drug storyline went too fast. It hit all the right beats, but it hit them so fast that we didn't get to marinate in them the way we're supposed to with soap opera. I hope, Candice, you'll at least agree with me on that one point. But the aftermath of it, the questioning of things, because when somebody goes into recovery, and I know this from family members, I know this from some personal situations, et cetera, when somebody goes into recovery, you don't only think about what you know, how many drinks you took, when you got in the car when you shouldn't have, or et cetera. You think about all the moments, all the choices, all the decisions you've made along the way, and you start to think, A, what would life have been had I made other decisions, and B, what decisions am I going to make going forward based upon the knowledge that I now know about myself and my addictive personality, addictive personality.
Right.
So I'm really, really proud of B&B for hitting those notes. Do I like the storyline the way it's going right now? Not so much, but I'd rather not so much like the storyline and feel it be authentic than be memory transfer or babies that, you know, I mean, there's just so many craziness that we could get on. At least this is grounded in reality. I don't necessarily love it, but it's grounded in reality, and it's hitting beats that need to be told. So I'm sorry that I interrupted you, Candice, but I really wanted to shout out B&B for really giving us the full canvas of what this experience should be.
Going through.
Yeah. I just think that with this storyline, I mean, again, if you know Bold and Beautiful's history, this does go into the warehouse, you know. But the thing is, I'm kind of like on the fence, because it's weird, because I know how the story is going to already go, unless they flip the script on me. But I've seen it where this is also going to be Thomas' redemption storyline as well, because, well, obviously, I do think we're going to get a Thomas and Hope pairing based off of whatever the paternity test says.
Yeah.
And maybe honestly.
Yeah.
And not underhandedly.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you go back to here's the thing. If you go back to what Thomas and Vinny was talking about, Thomas was like saying how Hope deserves so much better. I could give her that, And Vinny is like, what if you could? And so it's like, all right, we're already setting this up where something's going to happen, because right now, again, like Hope said, whatever that paternity test says will change the course of all four of their lives. So, and then Bold and Beautiful had to be preempted because of the impeachment. Y'all suck.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
but
this is the perfect time for me to step in real quick, because we've had crossover into LA from Genoa City, and we are experiencing, and because of impeachment, we're not experiencing it the way we wanted to, crossover into Genoa City from LA. I am so sorry, but based upon what we have seen so far, I have got to say this. ABC has done quite a few crossovers over the years. They had Ray Cummings, the incomparable Miss Linda Tanner, who took One Life to Live, All My Children, and General Hospital by storm. Some of that storyline, I was like, why? But most of it was creative, intelligent, engrossing, et cetera, et cetera. Then, the next time that they decided to do a crossover event, they did it with a baby situation.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They are babies.
You are right across the hall. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
Kelly.
And you are right across the hall from each other. You are from the same Soap Dynasty family. You've got powerhouse writers, actors, so on and so forth. What is this crossover, and why did you even bother? Is my personal opinion on the matter. Now, maybe they'll surprise us and pull something out of that hat in the next 2 weeks, but so far, I'm like, why? Nothing. It did not give the excitement of any of the crossovers that we've seen, and As the World Turns did it years ago. Candice, am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though, okay.
Something's lackluster.
This is what happens. Yeah, the fact is that we've been saying for years that these soaps, obviously, CBS can do it because they got two soaps. ABC has all the rights, so they can do, like, the hybrid crossover on General Hospital, which they did with Laura Buchanan. But the thing is that, when you think of Bold and Beautiful crossovers, honey, you think of Sheila Carr. You think of the time that Brooke and Victor, oh, yes, it has happened. Deacon, like everybody was entangled. And I do think that this whole Sally storyline, Sally versus Summer, I don't get where it started.
I don't either. It's too soon.
Yeah. I feel as
though,
I
was so excited for Sally to come to Genoa City. And it's just like, yeah.
What's
go ahead,
the point?
Sorry, go ahead.
Like,
what's the point, basically? Yeah, basically.
I think this was, from a creative standpoint, it was genius because Sally was a popular character on Bold and Beautiful to bring over to the Younger Rustlers, because you need more young in the Younger Rustlers. How many times have you heard me say that? But I just don't get. If this was to open the door, because like apparently from what Brad and Josh said, this wasn't going to be the first. Obviously, Don Diamont coming over is like the legit. Because at first, I think people thought it was going to be like the whole Wyatt thing. If they're still in Los Angeles, he's on a boat calling in to the General City. But no, he's legit there. He's in. And if you haven't seen the scene, I'm going to tell you who's in it right now.
Yeah.
You got Jack Abbott, you got Lauren, and you got Kyle. And there is I don't know who wrote that episode, but I'm going to tell you right now. There is a mention of Brad's past in that
I know,
scene.
but I'm sorry. If you were going to do it, you should have had Amelia Heim, a.k.a. Ms. Victoria.
Well, hey, Anthony, but that was only from my understanding, he's going to be there for a couple of episodes. So they only teased us with that. I've always said, if they're going to do it, have him go to Kristen Lights, see Sharon,
That's what
Tracy,
I'm saying. That's what
Ashley.
I'm saying. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, we need because you saw the scene, right? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw
I
that
saw
scene
it.
where he
Mhm.
pops into
Okay.
the Abbott.
Yeah. So I was when he said Jack Rabbit, he was like, "Oh darn nabbit."
Yeah, Jack.
I was like, that's how you write dollar bill. Like, it's just, and I know that I'm not going to, but I'm just, you know what? At this point, Jesus, you're working overtime anyway. I need to see between him and Eric Braeden. If you can get that, that's a done deal. That crossover was a success. Like, you just,
No,
you know,
I'm sorry. I'm
lost,
sorry.
Yeah.
They should have done it at one of the venues, Lights, et cetera, where he walks in the room where Victoria's there, Tracy is there, you know, except you know, and they all should have been like, what? Who? Okay, Amanda came, Shane, Hillary. We know he's not Brad, but oh my God, the fodder for it would have just been epic.
Oh yeah.
And then for Dollar Bill to be Dollar Bill, it would have been epic. It would have been epic. I'm just so.
Yeah, it's gonna be. As we're talking, official Young and Restless just hosted and saying, we know you guys cannot wait for Don Diamond to come on. Like, I mean, this is probably because. You know, this is like really good because again, you get some Brad references and I do want to see what the next one is because you know here's the thing: we all need to know if some people in JC knows that Sheila Carter is alive and if she's still working at the coffee house. I'm just saying. We need to see Lily.
That's a drop.
We need to see. Right, we need to see Justin from Bold and the Beautiful come visit his cousin Lily and Devon because yes, they're related. In case y'all didn't know, and Nate.
He's a barber.
Yeah, he's a barber. Like they could talk about why they weren't there for Emma's funeral. Y'all remember Emma? Hey, y'all shady. Y'all. So with Bold and Beautiful, so right now, and you know, Brooke knows about it. Everybody, Ridge kind of called out Lynn, which was hilarious, like saying, you know, all he needs to be is loved and everything. That's all Lynn wants. And I'm like, Ridge, side eye, like, just like you a couple of years ago, you wanted to be loved too. Mm-hmm. But at least, and as a fan, I'm going to say this. I know everybody, you know, says, you know, I give Brad a lot of, you know. The thing is that Brad, he wants to make this his own, put his own primetime Spanish-like.
Right.
The problem is that this triangle of Hope and Safi and Liam has just been too much focus point, and it's not the actors because we don't talk about the actors, but characters. To me, there's no movement, and I think.
Oh, Candice, let's call spades for spades. You know, back in the day, when it first, of course, it first was Ridge, Caroline, Brooke. When that played itself out, they brought in Taylor, the mother of Thomas and Steffi. You knew, no matter what, you knew there was always going to be a tug between Ridge and Brooke. You knew that there was a passion and a fire and an understanding of each other between Ridge and Taylor that he never had with Brooke. He still, to this day, has never had with Brooke. They really did have that understanding of who each other was at the basic core. And that's what's missing in the triangle of Liam, Hope, and Steffi. Not to mention, quite honestly, back in the day, maybe it was budget, et cetera, but they put them in situations. They brought them around the world. They gave us reasons to understand. When you were in Forrester Creations, in the mansion, sitting on, having a drink at what's the restaurant again, baby? But when you're in only four locations, there's only so much beats that can be played, and they've all been played. So if you want us to invest back in it, then give us one of these grand storylines. You did the baby switch. This, you played the material that you can play, keeping them in LA. Either give us a grand adventure and a reason to reinvest, or be done with it. We're going on like 70 years back and forth, two different hopes. Brothers come in, mothers getting involved, father and mother breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, all because of what the kids are doing. You played every beat. It's tiring. It's done.
Tiring
yeah.
Because to me, it's like, all right, we have Steffi, we have Hope. Let's take Liam out the picture for a minute, because for everybody to say it's always been Liam, no, there's also another guy named Oliver who's for Liam, and you had Steffi feeling like she needed to have something to hope. What I don't understand, and I've always said, one of these three needed to be the one to end this cycle. All right, take Liam out. Take him out. It's between Hope and Steffi, who are more than just rivals. They're family. And they've been family forever, in the sense. One of them has to be the smart one here and say, you know what, I'm tired, I'm done. Like, I'm completely, there's no going back, I am done. Yes, you're the father of my child. That's it. We will have our family moments, but right now I can't psychologically put myself through this ringer every single time. When you can't be with Steffi, you come to me. When you can't be with Hope, you go with Steffi. And the thing is, to me, both of these women, they've seen this before with their parents. Why would you want to? I think it was
yes.
I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when, and it's funny because it's deja vu too. It's when Dollar Bill told Steffi, do you want to be like your mother and wait 30 years for somebody to come back to officially give you their heart? Guess what, Steffi, and I've been saying this a lot lately, you are now far off from your mom, because your mom at a point would have said, Reg, I am done. And, you just said something, is that with these triangles on and I'm not just going to say Bold and Beautiful here, is that you saw other moments. Like you said, going around what we saw when it was Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor. Here's the thing. Brooke wasn't always pawning after Ridge. She was trying to take over Forrester Creations, and she did so. When Taylor was trying to get back, she was doing something too. And yeah, Bo, where is Taylor? Because I get it, but you need to have her on canvas because her children kind of need her. The story needs to be like somebody needs to have a special Bold and Beautiful with special guest, Dr. Phil. And they need to have Brooke, Taylor, even if you can't get Hunter Tyler, I've already told you that Kristen Alfonso would be the best one for me. I'm just saying. Have Brooke, Ridge, and Taylor sit down with, Dr. Phil. We can have even though we're going to do a recast, but still kind of have it shown from the backside, like Brenda Russell did with Victoria's special episode. Y'all thought y'all was slick, Brenda Russell not showing Billy Miller, but you showed Billy Miller from behind. We saw that. I caught that. Anyway, to really sum it up, is have a show where the parents realize what they did has now caused their daughters and sons
to do the same,
to have issues, to do the same, and have issues with relationships about themselves, like their insecurities and their securities. And then have Ridge and Liam have a scene together where Ridge actually sees himself in Liam, and Liam sees himself in Ridge. And for those two to be like, you know what? Yeah, we were dogs. Like, yeah, we really put these folks through a lot. And then have Brooke and Taylor, have Brooke and Steffi and Taylor and Hope, because Hope is like Taylor in a sense. And Brooke is like Steffi, and Steffi is like Brooke. Have them have a moment where these four women realize, you know what? We want it better.
Have them have some sort of special, some sort of special throwback. Have, the original Thorne. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. Harmon.
Who, Jeff?
The first one.
Yeah. The first
one. Harmon.
He wasn't the first one.
So he wasn't the first one.
Quite honestly, she done the daddy and had kids with him. Ridge, who is the love of her life, as far as we know, and as far as they want us to believe, the brother, have Jack Wagner pop up just for the episode, et cetera, et cetera.
Hey.
And have it.
Yes.
This is how we have shaped our children. The things that we've done, it is now history repeating itself over and over again.
But,
have Taylor pop in, yeah.
You can have it because I think this would be a good episode, because it should end with Hope, like Taylor, Brooke, Hope, Taylor, Steffi, Brooke, Hope, looking at their kids.
Exactly.
And
they should honestly have a moment where Hope they should have a moment where Hope and Steffi confront each other, not in a vicious rip-roaring, Alexis and Crystal Carrington, the pond, slapping each other up moment, where they say, you raised my daughter. You took care of my daughter for the first year of her life. But I don't want to be here 25 years from now looking at my daughter going back and forth between, because of the examples that we continue to set as we go forward, because we didn't pay any attention to the examples that were set to us as we were growing up together. First we were sisters, then exactly, yeah.
And you do need them to reinstate the fact that Ridge thought of that girl, of Hope, as his daughter. And I think that because a lot of people probably don't know that. I guess because when Thorsten Tate took over, they wanted to kind of cut that part of the history. But Ridge has always thought of Hope as his daughter. That's the crucial. And I will post the scene up. I will give it to somebody. I will post it on my social media account where Ridge said, I always thought of you as my daughter. Talking about Hope, because you got to remember, how Hope came into this world was not a convenient way. I mean, for crying out loud, it was Bridget's boyfriend that kind of knocked her mom up. So that's the irony of it, is that now you have the same cycle continuing, but do you want the future generation to continue it on? And speaking of cycles, real quick. Carter, we need to talk. What did y'all think about this, real quick? Carter, Zoe, Zende, Paris. We read.
Zoe wants her cake and eat it too. She wants both Carter and Zende.
Oh, honey, she wants to personally whip the cream and spread it all over. But go on.
And Paris just has her number.
Candice, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you meant.
Yep.
I will say, even though Bold and Beautiful, but this is something Bold and Beautiful has been doing for a long time. When one story isn't working, like one storyline, thank goodness they remembered that they're a soap opera and they can do more than one story. This story of Carter and everybody is probably my must-see storyline, because I feel bad for Carter. in the sense that he really did fall in love way too fast. But again, given his history, I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that they're writing Zoe back to what she was in the from jump, an opportunist.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's something that was said that I was like, yes, that's the reason. When I say she's an opportunist, it was so funny how this like all came out. When Zoe has been saying, oh, the CEO, the COO of this and everything, like she wanted to make sure everybody knew the label that Carter had and what that meant to her. It's like, yes, I'm going to be the wife of the COO, stuff like putting that brand out there. Homegirl has been wanting to be a Forrester so bad that it hurts. How do we know this? Let's take a look, shall we? And play the music like this is like a game show or something like that. I don't know. But thank you. Here's the thing. Zoe, if you guys remember the baby storyline, let's go back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
She was hired to kind of flaunt what her mama gave her so Thomas could spill the beans. Instead, Thomas put some magic on her in the bedroom, wink, wink, and she totally was like, oh, I'm in love, me and Thomas are forever, and then Thomas proposed to her. She had her mindset of being a Forrester, okay? When everything was exposed and whatnot, continue on down. Then Zende comes in, and here she is trying to make a play for him and doing her little and everything. What is Zende's last name? Forrester. She still worked at Forrester. She still wants to be a part of that. She wants to be a part of that family so bad that she would even marry Carter, who's best friends with Ridge Forrester. It's like, and like they say, you just want the name. You don't care about Carter. You just want an association or to be in the family. I love that scene. I was like, call her out. Come on, call her out. Because I was getting worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, if they have Carter marry this girl, I'm gonna smack somebody. But I love the fact that Carter, by the way, Lawrence St. Victor, my brother, let me just say it now.
He brought it and continues to bring it.
You better remember those episodes from when you submit for supporting actor next year for the Emmys. And I'm going to say it now. You brought it, and it's about damn time Bold and Beautiful gave you some material like that. Besides you and Carla Mosley, this was good. This was good. Kiara Barnes, her breaking down and saying, I just want to get married to you. I was like, you got caught. And I love it. This is those times where, as a soap fan, you're so happy that somebody got caught that you're like, you forget at times how it feels for somebody to get caught and get called out. And it's not related to anything else. It's like, and then you got Paris over there. She like, yeah, you got caught. Like, I'm moving on now. Like, So what do you guys think about this new quad? Like, they're bringing their A game.
Well, I honestly, that storyline actually is fresh. It's different. Lawrence. They've had him for years with popping in, marrying somebody and popping in saying, oh, Dollar Bill, you got to pull back. He's been a character since the whole Maya reveal 7 years ago, whatever that was. He's been a character. He's been a cartoon character. Yeah. What I will say real quick to what Candice was saying before, it is Zende. So I get the Forrester name, but it's also Zende. She said to herself, ooh, blowing on my finger, he is hot. I'm going to get burned, and I'm going to get burned quite nicely. But it also came with the Forrester cachet. I lost my train of thought, but I was going somewhere good. Nonetheless, I am definitely invested in this side of the storyline. And quite honestly, you know what, Bold and the Beautiful? Put Liam, Steffi, Hope, Finn, put them all on the back burner for a little while. Let them be the B story. Graduate this up to the A story and bring back in Miss Carla Mosley and let us finally understand what the hell happened over in Paris, Europe, wherever the hell it happened. Let us understand what happened, when it happened, and let this story be the A story for a while. Because you've got talent. You've got confirmed talent here playing this out, and enough of us care enough about it that we will give it the A story. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Let the rest of them be the A story for a couple of months. Yeah.
And you know, today,
will you be there,
today is Jack.
Yeah.
Say you'll be there. I feel like singing a Spice Girl song. I can't do it because we don't have the right stuff.
But I'm thinking the same thing. And then we got to go to Genoa City because we've definitely used up.
Yeah. What happened to Quinn?
Go ahead.
She's like, Quinn's nowhere in sight either. I haven't seen her, and I can't remember.
Here's another thing too. We got to keep also remembering we're still in Corona Town, so they're trying to rotate as many as they can. But with the fact of Jacqueline going on maternity, well, she's already on maternity leave because today is her due date. Today is her due date. Today, yeah, February 11th. That's what she announced. She's like, the baby's coming in February. So, but we all know that ain't going to happen. Girl, you can have that child on Saturday. Girl, go ahead, girl. Or Sunday, Valentine's Day. Make it a love thing. So it's going to be interesting to see if she already pre-taped some episodes or if they're going to have them on the back burner.
No, she did pre-tape episodes. They put that out like a month ago. Yeah, that they were pre-taping episodes with her so that she wasn't going to be off canvas for too long.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, let's jump over to Genoa City because I got some things to say, and I'm sure Candice, you've got some things to say. We talked about this. Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
We talked about this on the last Take Two radio episode, and I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Why, Young and the Restless? Why do you always pick Sharon? Why do you always pick Sharon to be the
fall guy?
Foil? The fall guy, the foo foil. I don't even know what to call it at this point. You know, you put her through all the training. You put her through becoming, an accredited, therapist. Thank you. Oh my God, I can't tonight. You put her through all that, and she's still a clown. It's just not. There's so many things wrong with this storyline that it hurts me. And the thing is, the potential is there for so many good things. There's so much good story to be told. What are you doing? What are you doing? We gave you all the material. And Candice, would you need to check if they use our material? Or would you let them, because it's Young and the Restless and we love them, they can have it? You got faith.
I've been saying that for a couple of years now, and I think they actually been taking some ideas, though. Just saying. I got my receipt too, by the way. Just saying. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
thank you.
Is it just because them, Mark and Sharon are a couple and they want them together?
Okay, first off, I have to say it because literally how long has she been married to Ray? It's been how long has she been married to Ray?
It's been shorter than Kim Kardashian's marriage to that one guy. Mhm.
Oh, that basketball weirdo that looked like
yeah, we don't talk about him. Yeah, him.
Yeah, like Lurch. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sharon. The basis of Sharon's character is she's always wanted a man who is going to choose her, who is going to love her for her, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You give her Ray, and then you make her make the choices that she's making. I'm sorry, it's not believable. It's not palpable.
No.
Ray is the guy she's been waiting for. Ray is the guy that she's been dreaming about.
Okay.
And for what? Adam?
Okay.
Come on.
I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna be like Supergirl. Woo! Hi. Okay. I'm gonna be the typical soap fan. I'm like, oh, darn it, Sharon always is like the one, Current storyline is that girl is Faith. Okay? And what I love, and I will say this, I love the execution of the storyline. Even though people had an issue with it, I love the fact that it actually showed the one character, the one person nobody thought that this was going to have a lasting effect on, be the one to be having a lot of issues with it. And that is Faith. I think sometimes we forget
that part.
Faith,
I love too.
Faith,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, that part I love.
The thing is that with Faith, first and foremost, she's a teenager. Like that little, she's not little anymore. You can't protect her from everything. I love the fact that she has an issue with Sharon being still friends with the person who kidnapped her when she was a baby. That is believable. That is the reaction that some people should have when the victim is still friends with the serial killer or the rapist or the person that pushed the husband down the flight of steps and then all of a sudden you got married to him. Those are the kind of reactions you want. She's not like, wait a minute, hold up. The fact is that Sharon is trying to be, and she's in the last couple of years, a people pleaser. She's trying to please everybody. Now, as far as the guy that she's been waiting for, I love Ray. I do. But let's not forget, Ray kind of turned on her too when the whole JT thing, putting her, taking the phone conversations, the phone bill and stuff like that. To me, if we're going to say the guy that she was waiting for or
Candice,
whatnot.
I'm going to stop you right there. Because the one thing that Ray did that Nick never did, that nobody. Okay, let me rephrase that because Dylan, although
Dylan did.
I was going to say
Dylan.
Dylan.
What he did was Ray owned it, and Ray told her who he was, how he was, why it was. Ray owned it where no one. Nick was. It was always about his daddy, his sister, his mama, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ray's the first one. No, I'm sorry, the second one, because Dylan did. I got to give it. Dylan did, but he's gone here. Ray owned it. And since she's experienced it with Dylan, she's experienced all the versions of her and Nick, she should be the character progression is not true to life. It's not.
Wait a minute, let's also think about this too. Is that Sharon proposed to Ray after she realized that her and Adam, that Adam was making a feature for Chelsea, and it's always been a question among Young and the Restless fans is who is really Sharon's true love? Is it Nick or is it Adam? In the sense of you got to remember that when Sharon was at her lowest of lows, Adam was the one who was there for her. Vice versa, when Adam was on his worst and whatnot, Sharon was there too. So it's like they're kind of connected in this twisted cycle of a relationship. The fact that Sharon is now married.
Wait. Okay. Hold this for a second. This one's off out. And I'm right there with you. If she was anything but a therapist, if they had given her any
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. That was my next thing I was going to talk about. Because, Adam, okay, real quick, Chelsea had a minor stroke. She's, paralyzed, can't talk and everything like that. She's confined into a wheelchair. Real quick side note, Melissa Claire Egan has one of the easiest jobs right now because I would love to do that. Just sit there, not say anything, and still get paid. Girl, you're my hero. You're my shero. You're my shero, Melissa. But the thing is that, okay, Adam is so rid with guilt because her incident that caused her brain hemorrhage was the day that he was at Sharon's wedding. First and foremost, let me clarify something real quick. Young and the Restless, you're playing too hard with this, and I know because I don't want to say that it's because Mark and Sharon in real life. I think it's the character-wise is that Sharon and Adam has always been in each other's orbits when trouble is looming. Adam will go to Sharon knowing that Sharon will be his backer. But with that being said, Adam is rid with guilt because of Chelsea's situation. And Chelsea is jealous of Adam and Sharon's relationship. At the same time, Adam is like, oh, she's going to be having trouble with depression and everything. Let me talk to Sharon. Why would you, Adam, put oil on fire as it already is burning? Why would you continue doing this? Because like Sharon said, Chelsea doesn't like her. But Adam is like, well, maybe you'll get the reaction from her like last time, because last time Chelsea was trying to say something. What Chelsea was trying to say was something that we can't really say on the show. But, in the sense of why would you do that? And not only that, I am sorry. I will say it right now.
Go ahead.
Chelsea, you'll be a fool if you go back to Adam. Because there's always, how dreams tells you the real truth about situations? All your dreams have been telling you is Adam does not want you, boo. He wants Sharon. You're dreaming of, seeing Sharon and him after they have sex and the afterglow, drinking champagne and stuff like that. If your reality is also telling you that Adam doesn't want you, because there's been plenty of times, honey, before you had your stroke, when Adam has said that he wasn't going to be a ride or die with you. You, Chelsea, of all people, should know that there's some other men in the GC who is worthy of your love and affection. And I'm pretty sure that pretty soon somebody's going to be available. Well, I don't know about that, but somebody's going to be available pretty soon named Ray, and maybe you, Ray, and Victoria can start up a triangle. There. I had to get on my phone.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
Unless you're not going to Restless, if you're going to psych me out here and you're going to kill off Ray.
All right. Now, before we leave Genoa City, we got one more thing to talk about, and I'm going to leave it all to Candice.
Okay.
Girl, Amanda, Devon, Elena, Nate, come on, girl.
Okay. I would like to say, Young and Restless, stop going into my journals and reading stuff, because I knew that Amanda and Devon was going to hit the sheets sooner or later. It was bound to happen because the way they've been playing it up, where Devon and Amanda has been talking, hanging out, and stuff like that. When Elena and Nate, okay, with this plot, when it first came out, when the first cycle of the story of, Elena sleeping with Nate and all that, it didn't pack any punches. I mean, I'm sorry, it didn't. Because this was all based off of, again, we talked about Liam and Chad, and we'll talk about Chad too, is that Elena went off based off her insecurities about a dead person, which was Hillary. Every time you look at Amanda, it's a reminder of Hillary. Here you guys talking about Hillary, the love of your life, Hillary. I'm your current girlfriend. I understand you're still grieving and that you're still talking to her new sister, but my insecurities have been there since day one. I love the scene where Devon asked, can you please tell me what I did wrong? And that was the first time I think, I was like, thank you. I was like, I don't know who wrote it, but thank you, because I don't think Devon, he didn't know. Like, he's like, was it always Nate and me? Was something that I did? Please tell me. And I love the fact that Elena has said, I've been fighting a ghost since day one. I wish she would have said, do you remember the night of the party when I had no clothes and you told me to borrow one of Hillary's dresses and her shoes and her necklace? Basically, I was a made-up version of Hillary. But I wish they would have went that far, because that's when it started. It was that moment that it started. I love the fact that they was like honest and open with each other. And yes, I did like the fact that they slept together, because that was something that they both needed. They needed that moment of passion. Now, what I'm not liking is the fact that I think around this time, somebody does need to be pregnant. I know you guys are going to be like, wait a minute, Candice, you were so against this last time. That's because of the way that was played out the first time. It didn't pull.
No, Candice, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%.
Right.
This is the time, exactly.
Right. I do think they put whoever it was, I'm going to not say who I believe it was, but I feel as though somebody at Young and the Restless took a look at the story arc and was like, okay, we need to make some kind of decision here. I do think there will be a pregnancy. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to flip the person who's going to be pregnant, because as much as I can see Elena be pregnant and be like a who's your daddy storyline, I can also
be Amanda.
see where, right, and I can see that being an issue because it's like, okay, you got the look-alike, you got the child. But to me, it's like now you're questioning, okay, where does this lead? Because, again, throwing impeachment about Nate, because Nate, had asked the question, was there something about Devon and Elena?
Mm-hmm. But it's also perfect to bring Lily back into the storyline, too. Because Lily can talk about her. Yes, exactly. Her guilt and her past experiences, and the fact that she was willing to step up and be the mama to her husband's mistress's child, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many beats that can be played if Amanda's the one that's pregnant.
See, I feel as though, like, honest, I wish this is okay. I'm gonna say I wish they would have not done that part. I wish they would have had, of course, the dramatics of Amanda and Devon sleeping together. I wish that down the line they would have had Devon and Elena talk, and then all of a sudden, because of the guilt of Devon, him and Elena sleep together, and Nate not knowing, or Amanda not knowing. I wish that they would still kind of circulate Amanda around Billy. I wish that they would circulate Nate around Abby.
Absolutely wish that they. Yes.
And other people, because I feel as though this is one of the issues that some fans have always had with Young and the Restless, is not against the actors. It's the fact that everybody, I'm just going to say it, all the black people are always on the island together. And it's like, okay, you need, because a year ago.
Hold up. Right there, before you leave the island, they played with Devon and Abby so many times and brought us to like a twinkling, and then left us hanging. So first and foremost, that is a beat. They're friends. They've been friends for a long time. Devon should have went to Abby and said, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what I'm feeling. I just slept with Amanda, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but that moment's passed. What they should have had was a moment where Elena said, it's her sister. You still have feelings. It's unresolved, et cetera. You know what? I want you to know. I want you to figure it out. I give you my blessing. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go over here and play a little bit. That's who the character came on being. What they turned her into. How excited were we when we had Brittany on this show? Because they were writing a character that we were so invested in. But what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Elena would have turned around and
said, you know what? Fell a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like they. Yeah, I mean, with Elena, it's like, okay, you own up to your holishness. Just own it. Just own the fact that you slept with me in the hospital on the bed. I hope y'all cleaned that with some Lysol and stuff, but no, it's okay. But
it wasn't crib sex, but it was good.
Hey, if there was an emergency, they're in the right place. Just saying.
Right.
Ex-Brad called.
Just saying.
Ex-Brad called. He had a heart attack after his sex, so just put it out there. But they moved with this quad to the interesting point, but at the same time, it's not hitting right now. It's like it's gotten way better, but it's not at that point where it's like, ooh, yeah, and that's why I'm still kind of, in a way, right now that I'm talking about it, I really now don't want a baby storyline because it's just gonna be weird. It's just gonna be like, okay. If this was like Drusilla, Malcolm, and Neil, and us not knowing that Elena slept with Nate or Devon, like if we didn't know that one of these people did sleep with somebody, and then there was a baby, and then all of a sudden we get a flashback, and it's like, ooh, like Anthony Davis, she slept with such and such.
Yes,
like,
yes, I agree with you 1,000%. Yes, it would be so much more impactful if we got it in a flashback. But you know what? We should still have the baby. We should still have the baby.
It sounds like she's going to tell him the truth.
No, you know that's not going to happen, David.
But see, here's the thing. I will say this: if they do that, if they have her confess, that's when you end the story. That's because it's no impact unless it's no impact after you tell, like, oh, by the way, I slept with such and such, and I wanted to let you know. And even though we're not official, I just wanted to be clear with you and open. So there you go. And then Nate could be like, okay, now I will throw this out there. If they bust out and said that Nate and Amanda slept together, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need to know everybody slept with, like, you know, Amanda tells Nate tells, you know, Devon tells Elena tells. I don't need everybody playing telephone and talking about their sex. Like, I need for Young and the Restless to remember.
Okay. I'm sorry. Both of you. The only flashback sex that we never saw that is going to be that I would want to see and really get invested in is Abby and Devon. And suddenly that she thinks she can't get pregnant, all of a sudden Devon's miracle, baby daddy sperm hits her up with a baby. Mm-hmm. Other than that, the rest of it would just be kind of fodder.
Okay. All right. So I thought about that because, well, let's just talk about this real quick. So in case y'all been living under a rock, Donnie Boaz was let go of Young and the Restless this chance. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of circumstances around this. All we know is the original Instagram post. Yes, I did screenshot it for future reference because I wanted to make sure that I saw what I saw. So he gave the whole timeline. It happened on Christmas Eve at 4 p.m. He got a phone call saying his service was no longer needed on the Young and the Restless, and that they weren't going to recast the role. Okay, this was the same week that it was announced that, because they asked Mariah to be the surrogate. She's like, yes. Tessa's like, I'm going to help you with tea. And Abby is all excited. And then on Monday, which was Donnie's last episode, he, got word that Chance has a low sperm count because of his many incidents. And then at the end of the episode, he took a mysterious call. And then on Tuesday, we got told that he had took a new mission and he wrote a letter and Nina came. It's always great to see Trish Cash, by the way. And that he still wants them to, go through the process of a surrogate or, find a donor. So the story has now kind of been derailed a little bit, which I have so many things to say about this, so I'm just going to get on my soapbox real quick, and then Anthony and David, you guys can chime in. To me, okay, you can still do this story, but the focus is not going to be all on Abby anymore because we don't have a chance until further notice. What this story can do, if you flip it, writers, listen to me, you can flip this story and make this about Mariah and Tessa and let them get the storyline. This is going to be a storyline where Mariah and Tessa's insecurities, because they were brought up very differently. You can actually have them have that conversation about the deeper part of their relationship, because I was at a fan event with Cameron Grimes, real quick, shout out to Cam, where she did say that Tessa and Mariah was to be engaged before Corona. But they put the storyline on hold because they wanted to do some other things. This is how you reinvest in Mariah and Tessa, because Young and the Restless, I'm going to be honest with you, I love you and everything, and you're currently the only Forever and a Day that has a Juliet storyline right now. You already have a very popular and huge fan base with Mariah and Tessa for them to constantly do, and I get Kate is on recurring and everything, but you still need to put this in play. You can have them deal with the fact of their relationship
now going into the fact that Mariah is carrying a wife. You can also have it where Abby may change her mind. Where does that leave Mariah and Tessa with the child? Are they ready for this kind of commitment? Are they ready to reach this level of their relationship? How is Tessa going to feel about being
okay.
Well,
what they need to do with it is give us a flashback where Mariah and Tessa had something going on, which they had something going on so many different times, where Mariah went out and did something stupid. And we don't know who the baby actually belongs to right at the moment where Tessa finally comes to terms with everything and she's okay with it. And Abby turns around and says, you'll always be a part of the baby's life, et cetera, et cetera. And then, boom, it ain't the child that we thought it was, a.k.a. General Hospital from a couple of years ago, but do the storyline right. Do the storyline right this time. The way Yankee on the Restless actually could do it. Yes. Yes. That's where a flashback will come into play big time and nicely. And guess what? I got to say it. Because of the relationship with Devon and Mariah over the years, that'd be a perfect flashback to throw it up about 5 months from now. Yes. David?
Yes. I like your ideas. I think.
What about what Candice was saying?
Yeah, I think use it wisely, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought for a minute.
That's okay, because time-wise, we have got to pop over to Salem.
Yep.
I'm taking a couple of breaths. Okay, first off, I made a joke before, but honestly,
you did.
I did, but honestly, I really like that we're getting very different flavors of Vivian. I would like for Vivian to pop up every couple of months as a different soap star from the heydays. I would love to see Susan Lucci take on Vivian for a couple of weeks. I would love to see Eric. I would love to even see Kim Zimmer come in and try to put her spin. Yeah. I would love Vivian to just come back every couple of months as a different soap star from days of old with a weird storyline. Ditch Yvonne. I'm sorry. He's Days History, so on and so forth. But you know what? Let Yvonne also be soap stars from days of old. What's his name? Cass. What's his name in real life? Cass from Another World?
Steven Schnetzer?
Steven. Yep.
Wouldn't you love to see him play Yvonne for a couple of weeks?
You do it if you give him a nice haircut.
Okay. Well, anyway, I digress. That's my whole Vivian thing. Okay. Days of our lives, days of our lives, days of our lives. Emily O'Brien, you got Days, you got the next person. You got the next person with Emily O'Brien. You did. Don't do it. Days, don't do it. Don't turn her into. You need to let her be her. Okay, Candice.
Let Gwen be Gwen.
Chomping at the bit. Let Gwen be Gwen. Go ahead, Candice. Okay, no. Before Candice goes, because I have to say this. Ever since Stefano, the Joe Mascalo Stefano, is no longer on this earth anymore, we have not had a true villain on Days of Our Lives. Since then, every single villain, Xander, Kristen, every single villain that you have given us, you have then taken away and tried to redeem and tried to. I'm done with the redemption story. I jumped on board with Xander because he was hot. He was hot. And when you tried to redeem him, if you had fully, if you had fully done the redemption like you did with Ben, it would have been so much more glorious than with Ben, because Xander actually had the material to be redeemed. But you gotta stop redeeming your damn villains. Let us have a villain that's a true damn villain. if you got to kill them off with an axe the way you did Claudia Zaccara up on General Hospital, okay, I'll be there with you. But let your villain be a villain. Stop trying to make us love your villains. I'm along for the ride with Jake. I am. At this point, you've muddled. All right, Candice, go. Go ahead, go.
There days. I tried. Y'all know, I get a lot of heat about everybody saying I have an issue with Ron and stuff, and I don't. But in this situation, I'm having an issue with Days itself. First and foremost, I definitely agree with you, Anthony. Stop reconning these villains. We long for the days like this current generation of soaps do not have a James Sandbag, Janet Green, Annie Duttons. They don't have a Sheila Carter or a Stefano, and I know that there's no way you can have another, but you need a villain on your show. You're right. Every time there's a villain, we always get a sob story behind why they're being so bad. In this case with Gwen, it's because she didn't know that Jack knew about her and stuff like that. We'll talk about that in a minute. The fact is that you cannot keep having these villains. And here's the thing, Kristen, I don't know her. I don't know that girl. In the last couple of months, in the last couple of years, I don't know if there was a cleanse on a soap called Reform 101, I'm pretty sure she took it because I don't know her. Like, I don't know this
I'd
girl
love to think that it started with Nuns on the Run, but it actually started before that. It started before the
right.
jump.
Like,
and they ruined
she
Kristen.
Was never this.
They ruined her.
Right. It's like, and
because
the thing
of Brady.
is that everything she does is because she's a mom. She's a mom. Well, then let Gabby have that excuse because she was a mother, but y'all put her under the bus every single 5 minutes. Somebody breaks a nail. Guess what? Gabby did it. Gabby was the one who pulled off the nail. Gabby did this. I feel as though Days has forgotten how to do a villain without the sympathy act. You can do that without the sympathy act. Trust me, you can. I've been watching soaps for so long. And you can't always say it's a mental illness or it's daddy and mommy issues. Stop that. It's
like Charlie.
It's just Thank you. So you mean to tell me because Gwen and Charlie have parenting issues that they're drugging and raping people? Okay. All right. After school break special time. No. Just say no. Okay. Another thing is that Days, I will applaud you for something because I, again, think that you was like peeping into my journal. I said on this episode a couple of weeks ago that I think Laura is connected to this Gwen storyline. And I remember everybody
you did.
was like,
you were right.
They was like, oh, dear God,
tweet,
please
Candice.
don't tell me that her. Don't say that Laura is the mother where, again, if you follow Days of Our Lives history for some of you youngins out there, you had Jack and Laura actually slept together. Laura was having her moment, and Jack was like pretending to be somebody else, not knowing that was Jennifer's mom. That could have totally worked. But you didn't do that. I wish you would have done it. But instead, you really went back and said because of Jack's father. This is where I was like, no, Laura still got to be a part of it because Jack's father is dead. So to me, if you have two parents who are dead, what's the big explosion? So we come to find out that all of this stuff for Gwen's mom's revenge was kind of a waste of time because it wasn't Jack's daddy. It was Laura who was sending out the checks. And Jack didn't know that Gwen was his daughter. Shocking. But they didn't know that Laura knew. So, Laura comes to town. The beautiful Jamie Lynn Bower, everybody. Looking fabulous. To see it. Love her. Looking well rested.
And it's so short. So
right.
short.
And the thing is, she tells the story and everything. By the way, shout out to Dave for doing that little flashback, kind of being funny about how, Jennifer looked from 1993, 94, but really was looking from 86. Like, okay, So you got Laura confessing all this.
Wait, hold up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think that was phenomenal. I think they did a really good job. Katie, I thought that was fucking.
Katie,
awesome.
Emily did it, but I'm just talking about because some people was like, okay, if Marcy is playing Jennifer Rose, the '90s Jennifer Rose didn't look like that. The way she looked, it was 1986 because it was the shoulder pads and the Aquanet hair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Frankie,
about?
Yes, the whole Frankie era.
So they were talking about it. So basically, it's around, if you're doing the timeline, this is when Jennifer was with Peter Blake, okay? So Laura knew all about all of this, and she kept all this a secret. Okay, fast forward. Now, this is the part of the show where we will say spoiler alert, because NBC has been playing Days of Our Lives, which is now on, today's episode is now on NBC.com. So spoiler alert for those who do not want to know, but you probably heard about it because this is the big issue here. So fast forward, Gwen and Jack have their moment, tears. We got tears, boo-hooing, we got cries. Laura feels so guilty, right? So then all of a sudden, I'm going to fast forward this. Gwen and Laura have their confrontation, okay? Next thing you know, spoiler alert, Laura drops. Gwen is like, Jack is like, don't worry. So the situation is at hand. And this is really a big debate on Twitter and on Facebook and even on Instagram right now. Was this worth killing Dr. Laura Horton off?
No. Not at all.
Nope.
Here's the problem. You know how we just talked about the villain?
Wait. First off, hold up. Because we just saw Kristen, a.k.a. Hope, disappear from the canvas, as far as we know. And if they recast the role, it is not going to go well. So you've gotten rid of, she's gone. And now you're going to play the whole Laura beat? No, it was a bad move. Go ahead, Candice, sorry.
Well, here's where I'm going to come in at. Laura Horton, first and foremost, is a Horton. The show's been about the Hortons, the Bradys, since as long as I can remember. Laura has been played by so many people, starting with Susan Flannery, and all the way up here. And to me, this is a plot point-driven death that shouldn't have happened to prop Gwen up. And not saying you can't kill characters off, but there's something going on lately with Days, and I know people going to say, Candice, you always come down on Days, but this is the truth. Y'all kill too many legacy characters off.
Yes, you can't build
reason.
A new legacy by killing the legacy that you already have. Yes.
Right.
I know there's people still on the show that's in their 70s and 60s. Ron, I saw your tweet. I know that, but that's not what we're saying. The point is that you brought this character back who hasn't been back on canvas in a long time just to kill her off in a couple of days. That is wrong. What you should have done was you should have had her still riddled with guilt that Jennifer wasn't going to talk to her for a while because.
I'm sorry, Candice. I'm going to step in there. What you should have done is have her have those moments with Abigail, with Jennifer, with Jack, and with even Gwen, where she goes back into insanity, and you play on the insanity that's legacy of the character.
I would say yes to that. I would say yes to that where she has a mental break. I will agree with you on that. Anything but killing her off.
Anything but killing her off, exactly.
Anything but killing her off.
You're killing another part of the legacy of Days of Our Lives off. Because last year you killed off Mike Horton. I mean, not Mike, but Bill Horton. So Jennifer's parents are gone. In a sense. And again, we know this is a soap opera. We get that. But it's just something. And not only that, I'm sorry, Ken Corday, I got to pick on you too. Because you said in an interview, and I believe it was last year, that you weren't going to kill off any more legacy characters.
Yeah.
Again, I get it's a soap opera.
That was That was May of 2019. Yes.
Yeah, so it was like 2 years. Yeah, okay. So
unless
me, it's
they're
like,
pulling a fast one on us.
No, and if they're pulling a fast one on us, it's even worse. It's even worse because how many people are you? Go ahead, Candice. Go ahead. No, I was going to say, how many people are you going to bring back from the dead, from the brink of? I mean, come on. You know, you had us running around all over the place, whether Stefano was alive or dead, blah, 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 blah. And then you creatively created Stefan, whatever he was with Steveno. Right. And I bought into that. You should have kept Steveno way longer than you did. Way longer. Because that was the villain that I was down with. Oh, my God, I was so down with that. But, you know, Chad Zamora, Jake, Stefan 2 point, whatever the hell he was when Brenda Brash and Tyler Christopher were the other Stefan, none of these are going to step into the role of a Stefano. Nobody is going to step into – I don't even know what Kristen is anymore. You know, but Kristen was in love with John, the father. Yeah. To have transferred it to the son was ill and icky. But, okay, we finally kind of got along with it. Then you put her on Nuns on the Run, Sister Act point, 5 point, whatever it was.
Yep. I will follow her. But see, with the legacy, like, I'm having an issue because Days of Our Lives is a multi-generational show. Not saying that Bold, GH, and Young aren't, but the fact that this character is a part of a established family, 1. 2, you brought her on to kill her off for this. Yeah,
I know.
Like you could have gave so much more. Like, to me, no offense, Jamie, you should have went to Young and the Restless. Because to me, it's like you brought her on to kill her. Like, I'm having an issue with it because I am one person. I'm the first person that's like, okay, on a soap, they should kill off characters.
Candice,
I look at loving. Yeah.
Candice, I'm going to stop you right there because here's the deal, okay? If I don't know what her name is in real life. I'm so sorry to say this, but the actress who's playing Laura currently, if she did not want to come back for an extended arc, God bless, then you know what? There are hundreds of soap opera actresses out there right now who do not have work. Bring them in the way you have the revolving door of Vivian's. We've had Linda Dano now. We've had Robert Strauss, and of course the incomparable Larissa Rowe. So if the person who's playing, you know, Laura, I don't know who she is in real life, but if she couldn't come back for an extended period of time,
Bauer. It's Jamie Lynn Bauer.
Jamie Lynn Bauer, thank you. Then, you know, there are so many people who could have played her and given her justice. You know, we could. I'm a huge fan of Kim Zimmer. Does she look like her? No. But could she take the role on and make it like, oh my God? You know, you could have.
I wonder if they could even really talk Susan Flannery into doing it again.
Into coming back for. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. But nonetheless,
to me, we don't have.
There's so many directions you could have gone with without having to kill her off. It makes no real sense.
And I mean, this is on the heels of the fact with casting news that Katie McLean is out. Her last episode is scheduled for February 17th. Yeah, but because of it, it's still probably going because Days is still showing stuff on NBC.com. That's another thing because we don't know anything about Missy coming back. They really haven't said anything additional about Jennifer Rose. I mean, we know from what's been told is she's leaving Salem. Obviously, probably because of Laura's death. But now this is questioning a lot of Days fans of where are we going out with this? Like, this did not have to happen. I think this is one of those times where it's like
Katie McLean is leaving, like I said, they could have made her go back into insanity. It's not like she hasn't been insane before. You know, Laura on General Hospital, Laura on Days of Our Lives. Both two, you know, persons with mental instability in their past. Have her flip back out. have Jennifer need to do what she needs to do for her mother, even though she wants to wrap her hands around her mother's neck and wring the life out of her when her mother starts to spiral into insanity. She needs to do what she needs to do for her mother and for herself and for her children and grandchildren. And boom, perfect exit for a couple months. If Melissa decides to come back and reprise the role of Jennifer, great. Personally, I don't know. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you guys point blank. Did you feel like Katie took it and made it her role?
She did.
Yes.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
If Missy decided not to come back for a while or forever, I feel like Katie took it and made it hers, and I would have been okay with her as Jennifer long term.
I would.
They killed her off, and it was the wrong move. It was the wrong move.
I really just don't understand. I mean, you can have a shocking death, and I know Days is playing that too because I heard some things too. But this is one that's not sitting well with a lot of fans.
I'm there with you, baby.
Yeah, this is like a plot driven because there's going to be the thing that we just talked about is redeeming the character. Right now, Gwen is going to be quote unquote redeemed because first and foremost, she was already kind of when Laura said it was really me and not Jack. So already you got Jack saying, I'm sorry. You got that part. Okay. Gwen is now like, I went after the wrong person for years. I am so sorry. If you're not going to give me Gwen versus Jennifer now or Jennifer versus Gwen because of this or Abby, I don't see the point. I really don't see the point. And it's
you know what they're setting up, and it makes no sense, but you know what they're setting up. We already saw the shades of it. Gwen versus Gabby.
Makes no sense.
Gwen versus Gabby is what's coming next. And it really makes no sense.
Unless you say, I don't even know where to go with this because at first I was like, let Gwen be pregnant. But then I'm like, no, because if you're going to set the stage for them to be the next sisterly rivalry, again, killing Laura, plot driven. You need to stop. You should have. Whoever pitched that idea, I am sorry to say this, that was wrong, and you know it. This is actually probably number 2 on the worst decisions Days could have made after killing off Bo Brady.
Oh, girl, I'm actually going to bump it to number 3. Killing off Adrian.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Killing off
Adrian.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Killing off Adrian. Yeah, Bo Brady was number 1, Adrian's number 2, and now Laura's number 3. Without a doubt.
Yep, and number 4 was Bill Horton. Yep. So speaking of killing off, let's talk about somebody who's not dead. I don't think we all thought she was dead. Sierra's alive. She's in a coronavirus-free box zone, glass plexiglass. Hair's on point, looking good, girl. Looking good. Love you. And she's reading.
And she's on her way.
She's on her way. She should have tried to get. Well, you know what? I'm going to let that go. But she's on her way. Meanwhile, Ben was getting a psychic reading from Dionne Warwick. No, I'm sorry, not Dionne Warwick. I'm being told Susan. Okay, Susan. Susan now works for the psychic hotline, y'all. And she said, I see her. I see a premonition.
Okay.
See it?
Okay. I'm sorry. I gotta say this. This is one of the worst storylines since the Island of the Dead. I'm sorry, but it is. But any single thing that brings me some Susan, I'm going to go with this because it's Susan. Whether Eileen plays it.
Wait, are you saying you love Susan but just hate the story?
I hate the story, but I love Susan. And I have to say this, Eileen Davidson, I will bow to your altar. I will kiss every single one of your toes. But Stacey Heideck actually plays a better Susan. I'm sorry, but she does. I hate the story. Hate it. But I love that it was Susan. Go ahead. Continue.
Well, the thing is that you're right. Like, I love Stacey's take on Susan because it's so fresh. It's really like a comedy show that should be on NBC Peacock, the Susan Banks show.
Yeah.
Dave, you hear that? Okay. But, you know, she has
what was her name? Madam Who on One Life to Live. That big old lesbian. What was her name? Delphina.
Oh, Delphina.
Oh, no.
Susan and Delphina, if they had a show together, would be the bomb.
Oh my God! Can we make that happen? Can we do that? Can we can we change the name of the character and get the same actress? No. Okay.
Her name in real life is Leah Delaria. Wherever she is.
Oh yeah, we can get it.
Yes.
That could be a show on the Days app. Like, come on, let's work, people. Let's get that where you can. Okay, look, I already got a theme song. Y'all know how quick I am. But so we got Susan saying, "I see her. No, like it's a real dream. She's not dead." So Ben is like, "What?" So you know, he had Chinese food. Sierra had Chinese food. Then all of a sudden they get the fortune cookies, and they see, you know, Ben says, "Never stop following your heart." And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, the wedding photo. Which I'm trying to figure out, when did they have time to take a wedding photo if the thing, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. But you have a picture.
Right there with you.
Right. I'm like, wait.
Shouldn't that film have burned up?
Like this?
Shouldn't have all that film have burned up?
I'm like, wait a minute, not even that. But did they have time to, did he see her in her wedding dress previously? These are some questions that so fans be having. Like, how come nobody goes to the bathroom on a soap? How come nobody how about nobody locks the door on a soap? How come nobody really answers get the mail and say, "Oh shoot, I got an overdue bill"? I'm just saying, okay. But so the picture fell over, and Ben is like pondering it. What can all this mean? What is these signs? And then, like I said, Sierra, you know. But before that, she was reading Shakespeare. And then she threw the book, and that was around the time the picture fell. So now, okay, spoiler alert for some people. Today was the episode that everybody's probably been talking about Romeo and Juliet. They both were thinking about each other and the situation. Yeah, this was the moment where Sierra was like, oh, Benjamin, we're out there, Benjamin. And you have Ben creeping, and he's like, y'all seen Romeo and Juliet, I don't have to say it. So they're sharing a dream together, meaning their connection is real.
Fancy
I'm not
face
saying
on the
nothing.
motorcycles.
I'm not saying anything because I just want everybody to know I like the character Sierra. I like the character Ben. I just don't think. I think the process. Yeah. I'm
sorry. Real quick, they could have had Claire involved. They could have had Claire holding.
Yeah, I'm all for this. But see, I'm going to stop you real quick, Anthony. I'm all for this. This is what I'm going to say. I feel as though, and I get it, because some fans feel as though because of days, and I'm going to be honest real quick. First and foremost, we haven't heard anything about a renewal just yet, but we do know that if the Olympics are happening this year, they already scheduled 2 weeks off for days. So that means days is probably still going to be around, okay? So let's stay positive. I understand that you feel as though you need to tell the story,
Candice,
play the beat, but
Candice, days was renewed into 2022.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know, they still sometimes, they still like to tell people that, though. But I think people got worried because of Corona. Yeah.
You're right.
You know they had it, yeah.
Right.
So real quick, so with this story, I feel as though, okay, I got to go to my soapbox. I'm sorry, you guys. I got to do this. Real quick, if you're an old school soap fan, you understood why Sierra wasn't on screen. If you've been watching Days of Our Lives and you remember the story of Marlena, John, Bo, Hope, Steve, Kayla, such and such and such and such, you know that this is a part of the quote-unquote Couples 101, where one half of the couple is either pretend to be dead, presumed dead, fake illness is a twin or something else, right? Okay.
One of the
With
above.
that being said, I love the fact that Sierra. We all knew Sierra wasn't dead. Okay.
Right.
But what I don't like is the fact is I get Ben is grieving. I get it because that was his whole life right there. But I really do wish, and I'm still hoping a little bit. And I know people are going to be mad. You do need Claire to be up on that. Even if Ben doesn't reciprocate, if he doesn't reciprocate, that's fine. But at least Claire, because I'm sorry, Claire has to unravel in the sense that she's getting close to Ben. The feelings that she had for Charlie, obviously, finding out that he's a rapist will turn you real quick. So now she's finding kind of solitude, like a friendship with Ben. We all know that Claire has these moments. So if she was to kiss Ben, and here's the soapy moment for y'all. Let's just say Sierra gets back to Salem, right? And she goes back to their place, okay? And, you know, Ben is there, got the candlelights and everything, like he's having a seance and stuff like that. And Claire's, like, crying and stuff like this, tee-hee, boo-hoo. And then all of a sudden Claire says to Ben, you know, nobody understands what I'm going through, but you do. We're sort of like we always was, where people always thought we were the bad ones, but we were really the good ones, and we always get hurt, da-da-da-da-da, right? And then all of a sudden Claire leans into an unexpected Ben with a kiss. Boom! Guess who's at the door looking? Sierra. And then Sierra, because we don't know how. Right, we have the moment.
Girl, I'm gonna go you one better, okay? What they should have done was push Claire towards Ben. Ben saying, "Oh no," and for something to spark between Ben and Gwen. And when all was playing down, Gwen realizing that something was up with him having these dreams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then Claire, the big Sierra reveal right at the moment where Ben gives in finally and totally to Gwen. And Claire being like, I cannot believe I'm left out yet again, and give her opportunity for her cuckoo crazy to come back to light and let her go completely nutso cuckoo on canvas, because Olivia Rose Keegan is never better than when she is an absolute insane, raving lunatic.
There needs to be more play to Sarah and Ben reunion, because there needs to be more angst. Because they can't have rainbows and lollipops and be like everything is kumbaya, like, oh Ben, I'm here, like, I just don't understand the rush, unless. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, girl, don't go there. Don't go there.
Yeah.
I'm not. So let's
don't go there, because no.
Should we go to Port Charles before we close?
We should go to Port Charles for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ted Brandon's coming back. The end. That's the whole segment. Ted Brandon's coming back to GH. That's it. Everybody follow Take Two Radio on all social media platforms. I'm so kidding.
Okay.
Like that
General
was
Hospital.
it.
I have so much to say to General Hospital, but okay, I'm gonna give them kudos. Nobody else agrees with me, but I'm gonna give it to them anyway. The double wedding thing was absolutely perfect. It was the perfect lead up to what's about to happen.
It is. I saw that they were taping it on the beginning of February. According to a cameo from Tristan Rogers, they were taping it then. So, it looks like it's going to be pretty messy.
Listen, okay. The last wedding that was any kind of consequence was Nina Valentine, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which ended up being Ava Nicholas. Okay?
Yeah.
I know most people don't agree with me, but I'm actually very invested in the Ava Nicholas relationship. I don't think that it's a relationship that's meant to stand the test of time. It is not a Vicky Clint. It is not a, sunny Carly. Okay?
They'll have their moments.
But I'm loving it for what it is.
Yeah.
This double wedding is going to be everything. Everything. Mark my words. General Hospital's surprise is going to be a shout out to where is Hayden, a.k.a. Rebecca Buddick, in all of this. That's going to be the fallout. That's going to be the fallout of the wedding. And Peter is actually going to be involved in that storyline as well.
Shocking.
They keep saying that Pete is not going, that he's not done for.
That's what he said.
That's what I heard,
I cannot see how they're going to redeem and bring this full circle unless they just go balls to the floor, which they need to do. Me personally, they also have a problem. They don't have a clear and defined villain. They brought in Tracy.
No, they don't.
They played the beats. They played the beats with Tracy. It was a perfect opportunity. Now, I love Tracy. I do, and I know the history. I remember sitting there when she held them pills and talked to her. Daddy.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Daddy. You never saw her when she held the pills when Daddy was having a heart attack at Recordamine?
I wasn't watching then, no.
Okay.
Oh, I see those clips.
I remember those days. They had the perfect opportunity to set Tracy up as the ultimate villain. Do I absolutely want that deep inside? Probably not, because I love me some Jane Elliott. But if they were going to go that way and Jane consented to being on the show for a good year to play this all out the way it needs to be played, then I'm right there. I'm right on it. If they're going to make Peter the true what do you call it, heir to the throne, so to speak, of the phase-on villain, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am. Let him go on the rampage. Let him completely lose his mind, et cetera, et cetera. But they're not going to. What they've done with Anna is criminal. It is absolutely criminal, like what they did with Liz for years on running. And they've only just recently really kind of redeemed themselves with Elizabeth.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to rip this Band-Aid off real quick. To me, just like I heard the GH writers saying that from day one they knew that Nell was going to be Nina's kid. The lies. The lies. The lies.
Yes.
Yeah, they said that.
Again, I remember and I say it all the time, I remember the summary of when they said that Wes Ramsey was coming on to the show, that he was going to create tension between Lulu, played by Emmy Ryland, and Maxie, Kristen Storms, for a 6-week arc. I remember that, okay? This is nothing against Wes Ramsey, but the character of Peter has been retconned, revised, and everything else in between, to the point where I am sorry, this character has to go like tomorrow. Because to me, it's nothing, like, he has done so much, and I get it.
There's nothing left of him.
But, yeah, exactly. It's like you built him up to be this heroic person in Maxie's mind. By the way, GH, I see what you did there, too. You're making it seem like Maxie only chose Peter because he's connected to Nathan. Really? Really? We're really going to do this? I understand Maxie
because I'm sorry, but let's look at Maxie's history. We've got Logan. We've got Lucky. We've got her flirtation with Johnny Jakar that never went. Yes. Oh my God! I just saw it. I just saw it as clear as day. That's who Chad Brennan's coming into. That's where he's going to fit in. Oh my God! I just seen it with all kinds of clarity. He's going to pick up the pieces for Maxie. Yes.
Oh God!
I did miss a bunch of episodes, and I'm so sorry for this, but I can't go back and find them at this point. What happened to Brando?
He's still around.
Yeah, we don't know.
Where?
He's with Cyrus.
He's around. Allegedly.
Okay, all right. Then Chad is going
to.
Whatever this character is that's going to come in is going to be to pick up the pieces for Maxie. I feel it. I see it in my bones. Oh, my God, I feel it. I can't believe the moment of clarity just came. Yes.
I hope you're right.
Can I just say, I'm going to kind of say I don't think so. What I do, I mean, I can see him in that orbit. I can, but I'm also looking at, how can I say this?
You're looking at Cameron?
We're going to get a Carly and Jason. We're going to get a Carly and Jason pairing. That's first and foremost. We're getting a Sam and Dante pairing. That's second and foremost. We're going to get a Nina going back to Valentine. That's third and foremost. Anna and Finn are going to blow the hell up, but nobody cares who Anna's going to go with because at this point, the way they're writing Anna, they don't care anymore.
They can have him with Valentine. I say I'm putting it into existence. Valentine and Anna. Let's go, honey. Okay, you know how I always get a funny feeling when
I'm with you. I want the two of them. I want the two of them to explore it. Yes.
I'm gonna do this. Hashtag Candice fanfic. If this comes true, I'm going to laugh so hard. I do think that Chad, whoever he plays, is going to be an even fair game for Elizabeth, Sam. Who else do I say? I could even see.
He's going to play in the orbit with Elizabeth because they can't not play that. But he's going to end up with Maxie. Elizabeth, because Franco's not going anywhere. Let's face it.
You're sure?
Robert Howard is on. Yeah, we're sure. He's on contract till 2023.
I'm going to say.
He signed his 2-year contract less than 7 months ago. What happened?
But I think because of the storyline, the way that I'm understanding it that something is going to happen even more to Franco. And to me, between him and Jason Morgan, their brains are like scrambled eggs. You can't scramble them anymore. I'm thinking that that's like going to play a part in whoever Chad plays because he can also be connected through Dante. We got to remember if he is going to play. Let's just put devil's advocate real quick before we sign off. If he plays Xander, there is so many people on that canvas that Xander's return will hit. Sonny, Carly, Alexis, Elizabeth, Cameron, of course, the Quartermain stuff, and Alexis. If he comes on as another front face,
I'm going to call it right now. Yeah. You know who he's going to play? Aaron. Shiloh's brother.
Okay. Shiloh's brother?
Uh-huh. I know my general house. Candice, tell me, now that I said it, tell me it doesn't make a little bit of sense to you.
Like I said, there's so many ways to go with this because he could also play a fresh face with a returning character. He could be Lucky Spencer. But if he is, you know what? Hold up. Let me think about that too. Interesting. But we'll see. Like, you know, he starts taping tomorrow. So, with that
means we'll see him in about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. So, you know, God willing. So, speaking of wrapping up, we want to take this opportunity to thank you, the listener, for listening to Take Two Radio. You guys have no idea how much it means to us that you listen to us rant and rave about our favorite soaps. And talk to amazing people.
And girl, I want my cameo. Are you going to talk to your producer friends? I want my cameo.
I know some people who work for Forever and a Day. Okay, what's your line? What do you want?
Yeah. Say good night, everybody. We'll see you in 2.
Bye, guys.
We'll be back.
Get connected with Take Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit TakeTwoRadio.com.